Hey Northridge, I just want to thank you for taking the time to come out to All In tonight. You're here because you care about your church and you care about what God's doing at your campus and throughout the network. And it's because that you care so deeply that we will be able to continue to have the life and excitement that all of our campuses have been blessed to have so far. I want to take just a moment to help you see the opportunities that are right in front of us and talk about what it will take from all of us to really see God's plan for Northridge played out. First of all, let me say thank you for your faithfulness over the last year. We have been able to take some huge steps forward in staffing, in missions, in church planning, in Camp Amp, and in rebuilding our reserves. But what is most exciting to me is the way that we are now set up to explode in our impact in the Tri-Cities region. We are now at a point that we have 3 campuses that are fully functioning and have room to grow by over 300 people with just the existing amount of services that we have right now. By faith, we've worked and given and created the space and the environments that God can now use to reach hundreds more. That doesn't even include an additional service at West Market or using more and more of the auditorium in Irwin. We are set up to explode right now. But here's what's even more exciting. We have the opportunity now to move past just aggressive addition to move to explosive multiplication now. Here's what I mean by that. Most likely, the Springbrook campus will be the driving force in sending out the Gray campus. West Market has people in it that would love to have a campus in another nearby town. It's feasible to launch a Jonesboro church off of West Market. What this means is that we are now on the brink of being in a position where multiple campuses could be launching new churches at the same time. I fully believe you could go your whole life and not be a part of a church that has this much potential to impact a region. That's why I confidently ask you to go all in on what God is doing here. Now, going all in is sometimes a personal risk, but when people go all in, it's because they believe that the reward is totally worth it. The Bible talks about the rewards that we will receive one day as a result of the people that we will have influenced for Christ. Imagine the reward of being a key part of a movement that reaches thousands of people for Christ in our area. So here's what I want to ask of you tonight. I want to ask you to go all in 3 key areas. I believe that if a high percentage of the people that come to our churches are totally bought in these 3 areas, there really is nothing that can stop what God is about to do. First of all, I want to ask you to go all in investing and inviting. We talk about this all the time, but it is so important that you take advantage of our environments that we have created and that you invest in the lives of people that aren't in church and then invite them to come and check out a different kind of church. If you aren't involved in investing and inviting, you're missing one of the greatest blessings that you could ever experience. There's nothing like seeing a friend that previously had no interest in God or church light up with excitement as they get it for the first time. I want to encourage you this week to write down the names of friends that need a church so that you can start praying for them and become more intentional about spending time with them. Secondly, I want to ask you to go all in the area of serving. If you've been coming to a Northridge campus for a while and you haven't started serving, you're missing a huge part of your own spiritual growth and you're limiting the difference that can be made as a church. There's something special about knowing that you're a key part of the team when you see these big wins that God brings our way. Being all in when we serve means that we do our best for God in the areas in which we serve. It means going out of our way to make somebody else's day magical as we serve them. It means always thinking about that person who is willing to try church one more time. So I want to encourage you to sign up for the next test drive or see your campus staff about how you can get involved. And then lastly, I want to ask you to go all in the area of giving. We don't talk that much on Sunday mornings about giving other than some comments in the feed after we've encouraged guests not to give. But Jesus says this is a huge area when it comes to showing whether or not your heart is really all in for His kingdom. It's impossible to grow in faith without trusting God in the area of your personal finances. For some of you, that's a step that you've never taken. Why not make this the year that you're intentional about setting aside a percentage of your income to give regularly to God's work here at Northridge? We work hard here at all of our Northridge campuses to keep our budget lean so that we can get the most ministry done with the most excellence possible for the least amount of money. So when you give here, you're making the most impact that you could possibly make. Your campus pastor will be talking about the all-in commitment cards. And in 2 weeks, on November 1st, we're going to have a commitment time in our services and give you the opportunity to turn those in. If you forget yours, we will have extras on that day. But these commitment cards are so important for 2 reasons. First, they help you pray through and think through what you believe God wants you to do in this area. It's an area we often don't pray about. This area is too important for us to not be intentional about it. And secondly, it helps us have some idea of just how many big steps we'll be able to take next year as we plan. It's important that all of our campuses are growing and are as strong and healthy as they can possibly be, because that will enable us to keep taking these huge steps forward. We would love to be able to send Buddy to Gray with a good group of people to help. But we can't do that if each campus is not growing, serving, and giving. We need some administrative staff to help us run overall operations for the network, including a full-time financial director and help with graphics and videos. We would love to be able to start planning church number 5 right away. We would love to pay down our building loans and free up that money for better uses. We would love to increase our missions giving drastically, and all of that can happen if we are all in. When you think about it, your greatest moments in life were the times that you went all in. Whether it was when you went all in taking care of your body and you completely turned your health around as a result, or whether it was when you went all in to start your own business, or when you went all in at the altar and said your vows to your spouse, or you went all in a sport and began to move up the ranks faster than you could have imagined, or your whole team went all in and shocked the world. I believe our greatest moments are still ahead because of the commitments that we will make over these next couple of weeks. And I believe that your greatest church experience as well as spiritual growth is about to happen as you go all in.